Today we're going to be combining the swipe technique and some stencils to create a pretty flower painting. To create the cells that you'll see forming during the swipe, I'm adding 1 drop of silicone oil to each of the base paint colors and giving them a quick stir. Each of the base paint colors is mixed in my typical swipe ratio of 4 parts paint to 8 parts Floetrol to 1 part water, plus that 1 drop of silicone oil that you saw me add. All of the paint colors, ratios and supplies will also be listed in the description box, so you can find all the details there too. For the swipe, I'm using ivory black paint that's mixed 4 parts paint to 8 parts Floetrol to 3 parts water. This paint is a thinner consistency than the paint already on the canvas, and it doesn't contain any silicone oil. With the painting fully dry, I've positioned and attached the different shaped flowers where I want them using painter's tape, and I'm using a white Posca pen to outline each of them. If you make a mistake with a Posca pen, you can remove it using a damp cloth or a slightly wet paintbrush, but you do have to do it right after you've made the mistake. You can't wait, otherwise the pen will dry and it's going to be really difficult to remove. Also, if you're worried about making mistakes with a Posca pen on a background that you've already painted, it's definitely best for that background to be really dry, as in a few weeks dry. Otherwise, when you try to remove the Posca pen, you're also going to remove some of the background. So, if you are worried about making mistakes, it's always good to work on a really dry background. I'm painting the inside titanium white. Off camera, I added a few more layers of the white paint just to get some really good coverage. With some painter's tape, I've attached the more detailed portion of the stencil to the flower, and I'm using Liquitex Basics Gold for this section. I found that using a sponge and dipping it in the paint and then dabbing it on my silicone matte a bit to get a nice even thin layer of paint on the sponge and then applying that to the canvas is a great way to not have any paint get underneath the stencil, which is sometimes a problem, and to then ultimately end up with a nice, neat finish. And I'm just repeating the process for each flower. I'm adding stems to each flower using emerald green. And adding a few white drops using the back of a paintbrush dipped in white paint. This is one of my fluid paints that's mixed 1 part paint to 2 parts Floetrol. I wasn't totally happy with the stems, so off camera I played around a little bit with them and ended up adding some dark blue on one side of each of the stems and some light green to the other side of the stems. And to finish off, I'm using this gold pen to dot the center of each of the flowers. Anyway, thanks for joining me. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.